Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode 176. This is I'm reviewing the newest episode of the anime, episode 956, taking down the Great Battle. The Straw Hats go into combat mode. Excuse me. Interesting thing with this episode. This episode adapts with the entirety, mostly from chapter 955. It adapts the entire chapter. It mostly is just some expansion stuff, basically, in the manga, but also this episode is the end of Act 2 for the Wano arc in the anime. Though in the manga, basically, this was like this with chapter 955. Yep. Now, basically, there's some stuff happening in this episode. I mean, they actually add a little bit more to this episode. Like, the stuff they added in basically was Luffy at Udon Prison. Like him going to Gear 4, something he did not do in the manga at this point. Yeah, in the manga, he had not been Gear 4 since his fight with Kaido. Yeah, I get kind of the reason why Oda didn't do this right away, have him in training. Oh, yeah, he just go to Gear 4 and just do some training. In the manga, he was never shown to do this at all. In anime, oh, yeah, he went there. Though for some reason, despite the fact he was in the bouncing man mode, he didn't exactly bounce, per se. He went to normal mode, but no bouncing. Nope, no bouncing. So, he proceeds to destroy the actual thing he's practicing on for about 7 episodes. And, like, I guess that he was too stressed out. I was like, okay, I guess the boss was like, give me more of these damn things. And they're probably like, yes, sir, right away. And they basically surround Luffy, and they're sort of like a circle. And Sumiken's in training here, and of course Chopper comes in and says, "Hey, time to go." It's like, give me a little bit of time, and well, and pretty much, yeah, he's pretty much all set there. Yep. Now, the case with other things on this episode, we do see Frankie still working on the ships. He says he still has 3 days into the raid. So that's what he's going to be doing for pretty much basically this whole entire arc. Yep. And let's see, what else? Now, Usopp doesn't do anything at all. Brook has briefly seen the episode. He doesn't do anything. He just sits down and does nothing. Now, I do appreciate they added this particular scene here of when Kinemon arrives at the very village that Luffy arrived way back at the start of this arc. Mostly, anyways, when Luffy first arrived in Wano, going to the very same village, running into Tama's master. Which, I think that's fantastic, the fact that the guy showed up again. And he actually reveals that he is a blacksmith. Yep, he's a blacksmith. I mean, aside from the fact that he was Tama's teacher, nothing much was known about him. And this episode, oh yeah, they reveal stuff about the guy. Like, for instance, He made basically one of the swords Zoro uses. Not the one he uses in his mouth. The other sword. The one he uses in his left hand. Yeah, that one he made. Enma says, yeah, he made that too. And this is a sword that belonged to Odin himself. And of course, everybody's like ecstatic about the fact that the Hidori, Momo's little sister, is actually alive. And she's much older. And, of course, there's a brief flashback. Apparently, when she was younger, she used to drop kick Momo. And they said, oh, yeah, she's 18 years older. If she did do it again, yeah, she might actually seriously hurt Momo. Probably kill him. I mean, she's a fully grown woman. She probably, I think she's like 26 now. Excuse me. Yeah, she's 26. So, yeah, it would hurt a lot more than just basically a bruise in the cheek. It'd probably break his neck. Yep. And then, of course, then we have Zoro training with Enma for the first time, where they actually make a little more eccentric in the anime, where when he slices up, basically, they show him basically use the sword first time, and covers his arm in armored hockey. The thing also basically tries to snap his strength, make his arm like a freaking twig, and then he says, give it back. But he does this after he proceeds to slice the tree. But he ends up slicing not only the tree, but also the freaking cliff. Which made a lot more sense in the anime, which I do appreciate the fact that, because gotta love the anime to make things a lot bigger. And let's see, what else? Let's see. Oh yeah, Sanji confronts Zoro like, oh. And Nori's like, was that the woman I saw you with? And he's like, yep. I thought that was so funny. Robin, of course, kind of debriefed people basically what she heard in the Capitol. The fact that people that are still in prison, by the way. Of course, they're wondering where Law is. He hasn't contacted yet. And, of course, they have a call from the bosses, the people who work for Bossadori, where they apparently were scrounged to about 200 more supporters. Prior to this call, they apparently only had 4,000 people in their army. Now they got 4,200. They say 4,200 is simply 4,200. And let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. So, basically, we had this thing, basically, this is wonderful little scene between Momo and Zoro, where they're practicing, and they mentioned the word sensu, and this was, and of course, according to Zoro, this is something an old man told him in his village, but according to Zoro, he himself has never said it. So, how in the world did Momo learn this phrase? Unless, of course, he basically said it under his breath. I think maybe Zoro may be forgetting the fact he may have said this. Otherwise, though, he himself basically is lying to Momo. Yeah, he's lying to him by him saying this particular word. So, and he's like, Momo, shouldn't you be practicing? He's like, yeah, practicing with a kendo stick, which is commonly referred to as a practice sword. But yeah, it's a kendo stick. In ECW, they refer to this thing as a Singapore cane. But the more common term of this thing is a kendo stick. Yeah, this thing is actually real. I, of course, have never actually held the kendo stick, but I know the thing is real because I watch wrestling. And I've seen people beat the crap out of each other with these things like they're actual swords. Yeah. And from what I've seen some footage, people who do kendo do practice with these things. And there's actual kendo matches where they use these actual swords. These actual things before they train with actual swords. I've seen it footage. I don't know if this is true. They probably do. Yep. Then, of course, we have basically the 9 Scabbards, Shinobu, and Momo, where they go out and meet at the port where the rendezvous point is. And, of course, we see that Kaido is drinking in this episode. Yes. The Shogun apparently knows about the location where the port is. The rendezvous point, and he knows where Hinori is. And also found that she's alive. Which, that should be a shocker, to say the least. Mm-hmm. Yep. What else? I guess that's it. Not much else to say about this episode. Yeah, the episode ends basically them going to support, and then basically we have this wonderful thing where they have a Dory basically playing the song she played at the start of the series, both the start of Act 1, the end of Act 1, and the start of Act 2. She plays this thing, and basically we have the curtain closing on Act 2 of the series. Or this arc anyways. And then we have this message from Chopper and Luffy announcing the 1000th chapter of the manga, which is coming out next week. Yep. Coming out next week in the actual in Weekly Shonen on January 4th, which is a Monday. Though it'll probably released here on January 3rd. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to read this chapter. It's going to be quite interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. Yep, and then we have preview next week, and I'm looking forward to this because this is pretty much showing what happened in what was shown in the manga, the dissolution of the 7 warlords. Yeah, they pretty much were disbanded, thanks to Reverie stuff. That's what else to discuss there, aside from the abolishment of the 7 warlord system. It's never supposed to reveal exactly what they use next. It's kind of weird. But I'm looking forward to basically next week's episode. Listen to Start Act 3, and of course 1000 for One Piece comes out next week. And of course, we have this last thing we see before the closing credits, is we have sort of a thank you from the creators of One Piece. It looks like these are the animators who insert their faces along with the One Piece crew to celebrate the fact. And this is in the traditional manga style, which I do appreciate the fact they did that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but not much to say about this episode. Fantastic. Can't wait for next week. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review will be a review of Boruto. I'm going to watch that next, do my review. Okay, see you next video. Bye.